I'm about to show you the fastest ways to level up in Blox Fruits because Blox Fruits be grindy. Every single update, the max level is getting higher and higher. If you're brand new right now, the finish line is getting further and further away. We're going to break today's video up into small parts. The intro will be for people who are brand new, or if you're a pro player, you're looking to get an alt account, get it to level 50 so that you can buy devil fruit. The second part will be all about the first C. Part 2 will be all about the second C, what fruits to use, and a secret little raid mechanic you can use to level up really fast if you're kind of rich. And then the third C will be part 3. Again, there's another special raid you can use to level up. The fruits change a little bit. And then right at the end, we'll go over some pay-to-win stuff just in case you got money. Buddha is bad in the first C. I know a lot of people are going to say Buddha, but what are you going to do with your unawakened Buddha? Your reach is garbage, your defense is garbage, and none of the first C combats are all that good. So for the first C, just start off with a fruit that you can find in the shop pretty easily. Flame will do, ice will do, light would be the best for the first C without breaking the bank. You can also do magma, although its movement is a little bit slow. And then obviously the pro stuff would be love. Blizzard is really good. You could use dough, shadow, venom, or even spirit and leopard. Ideally, you'll end up with the light fruit. Then the first thing you're going to want to do, whether you're creating an alt or if you're brand new, you're going to want to jump on a dinghy boat and you're going to go over here to the fountain. As level 1 at the fountain, you can still come up here and lure one of these guys to the side. They can't hurt you. I know your combat will take a little bit, but you can punch them to death. It takes about 7 minutes for one kill, and I would recommend that this is when you use a code right before you kill it. Use a code, get the double XP. That'll jump you to level 29. Then use your home teleport to head back to the pirate starter village. Throw that 84 or so points that you get into melee. You're going to need the stamina anyway. Then just do this beginner quest because you still have double XP. Do 2 of these quests really quickly. It takes like a minute. You just run through, punch them all. Then you'll be level 30 and you can head over here to the pirate village. That's sort of the big leveling secret. You can skip the starter island and the jungle island by going to fountain, killing an NPC. If you want kill 2, then you can come straight here. This island will get you to level 50. So if you're doing an alt account, you won't even get to Bobby. Get to level 50 on the pirate starter. You can also grind chests here on private servers or on public, but it's not as efficient. And then you can go over to the jungle to buy your fruits. Other than that, follow the leveling guide. The final little technique that you can use if you want to accelerate your leveling, Buggy is a really good example of this. So if your spawn is on this island, you spawn here, you get the quest, you jump up over here and you kill the boss, level up. Jump on the servers list, find another server. Just scroll down, pick random server, and if you're even remotely lucky, you'll be able to quickly grab the quest again, jump up here, and look, there's another boss. Boom, level up again. This is called server hopping to grind bosses. You can do this, and the Tubbs leveling guide will encourage you to do this to level up faster. Now, that was pretty much it for the first C. It is pretty much a vanilla grind. Just do quest after quest after quest, other than the little fountain trick. The second C is very different, though. There's a couple of things you need to prioritize in the second C. Every 3,000 fragments that you get, Court will let you reroll your race. You're going to want to get Rabbit. The second C and the third C are a lot bigger. You need to move faster. Don't worry about a PvP race for now. They're garbage. You shouldn't PvP until you're max level. This is also the C where you get to change it up. Once you can get your hands on a Buddha, or if you're pay to win, you buy the Buddha, get rid of your light fruit or whatever fruit you're using and switch over to the Buddha fruit. The big difference being that, 1, you don't have to awaken Buddha fully to get everything out of it that you need. With a normal devil fruit, you would awaken every single ability like so. But with the Buddha, you actually only need to awaken your Z move and it's ready to grind. So you just have to do the raid once, complete the raid, and unlock the shift, because this version of Buddha has higher defenses and a way longer reach with your weapons. This is where you can decide to either be sword, or you need to start thinking about upgrading to tier 2 of your combat styles so you can start using them. You can also use the little glitch that's still in the game right now, which I failed to do. where you shift and then switch to a weapon. This is the fastest way to farm. Now you've got the strength and size of a Buddha, but you're a little person, so you're still super fast. And just to prove it still works, you can see the enormous reach that I have with these swords. And then when I switch to my melee, it's back to the normal reach. You can also do this with melee. It's kind of easy to tell when you've done it correctly, because you can see that your melee glitches around your hands. And again, this gives you the super, super long, oh, he's immune to physical attacks. This also gives you the long reach. Now, there's also two incredibly overpowered options if you want to team up with other players or if you just have friends. You're going to need a decent amount of fragments, but this is how I've power leveled some of my friends through the second sea to the third sea without them really having to play the game much at all. And that is that here at the Smoke Admiral's Castle, if you go to the back and head in this little door here, for 1,000 fragments, you can buy a raid chip from this dude. And then if we take this up over here, I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about. This is a very common method. A lot of pros use this for their ults as well. You come in here, grab 4 of your dearest friends, and you start the lore raid. Whenever you defeat him, upon death, he will grant 3 levels to the player. No matter what level you are, you're going to get 3 levels. Sounds kind of expensive. 10,000 fragments just for 30 levels. But if you're in a group of 5 people, that's a significantly reduced cost because you're paying 5 times less because you can shuffle who buys the microchip. The same thing can be done with Darkbeard, although you're really gambling because sometimes the Fist of Darkness just does not drop. But at least if you're grinding Fists of Darkness in order to do Darkbeard, so if you are one of those second sea players that grinds a lot of raids, or maybe you grind a lot of sea beasts to fight Darkbeard to try and get the coat, you might end up with, 10, 15,000 fragments or something. And then you could boost your last 100, 200 levels over doing the lore raid. All of the same things apply here as well, guys. Tubbs leveling guide, server hopping to grind bosses, and those double XP codes whenever you're fighting bosses as well. And now it's time for the third sea, where there is sort of like it's not necessarily a trick as much as there's just one activity that you do alongside all of your grinding that can seriously speed up the leveling process. Now, there are a lot of bots in the third sea, and bots will spawn the Rip Indra boss. So if you want, you could get bored, just hop through the servers and try and find some free Indra fights, because just like with Order, every single time that you defeat Indra, the player will gain 3 levels. You also get some fragments, which you could then use to go back to the second sea, fight Lore, get another 3 levels. But also, in order to access Rip Indra, you've got to do these Elite Hunters. Now, whenever you finish one of these Elite Hunter quests every 15 minutes, you're going to get 60 million XP for killing 1 NPC. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but if we go to Chocolate Land, the second highest island in the game, and we check the quest here, you'll see that the Candy Rebels give 127 million XP for defeating 8 of them. So although it's half the amount of XP, you're only killing 1 NPC, and you've only got to do it every 15 minutes. So fighting the elite NPCs, getting that bonus 60 million XP, sometimes getting a chalice, and then being able to fight Indra, getting 3 levels for just that one fight against him. You can see how you can supercharge your leveling by taking on these additional activities. Also, obviously, after you defeat Indra for the first time, you gain access to the portals, which allows you to get around, do the Elite Hunter, go back to your grinding spots, and so on a lot faster. The third sea continues to be the same as the second, where your Awakened Buddha is the go-to, whether you're using the most updated versions of fighting styles, which I would recommend. Electric Claw looks really cool when you're giant. And of course, if you're a sword main, you've always got the Cursed Dual Katana like I was using before, which is really, really good. So now you're fast-tracked to get to max level. It's actually really, really straightforward. The first sea, you've got the little starter trick with the Fountain Island. Second sea, you can abuse the lore raid to power level. Third sea, Elite Hunters and Rip Indra raid again. You can abuse that to power level, especially if you've got friends or just a group of people who want to level up together. You don't even have to be friends. What about your mastery? This is where your Logia fruits sort of come in handy. My favorite spot in the game to do my mastery, and I'm talking without actually playing the game, is to come here to the skeletons on the Haunted Castle and punch away at them because they don't hurt Logia, and he'll respawn right there. I often will just sit here and click on my phone or use an auto clicker while I'm watching television. You can see any second now this guy's gonna finally respawn, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's also a super pay to win way to go about this, which I will show you in a second. Yeah, easy game. He will just appear there. So since I'm here, let's move on to the pay to win aspects of this. Of course, you're using double XP codes, but you can buy double XP as well. In fact, this is probably one of the best things you can buy in the game other than investing in long-term permanent fruits. EXP boosts are awesome, and a little bit additionally, you can get the double mastery if you just want your mastery to keep up with the leveling if you're already using double XP. As for permanent devil fruits, it's not that hard to get the light fruit. So say you use the light fruit in the first sea, I would look more into buying a permanent Buddha fruit if you're going to buy anything. And the ultimate version of this would be you buy the permanent Buddha fruit and you buy the permanent portal fruit and you unlock the world warp ability so that you never have to walk anywhere. You can teleport, then just open the shop interface, switch back to your Buddha and keep grinding. With a permanent portal fruit and a permanent Buddha fruit, you can jump around the second and third sea so efficiently that it just completely changes the way you play the game. As for mastery grinding as an Omega pay to win, we've got our Buddha. So we would shift into our Buddha and then you shift back, get your giant weapon, obviously with your Haki on. And then without unequipping the weapon, you can actually switch back to a Logia fruit. And so now I have giant weapon and I'm immune to their damage. So I can stand here and just swing. And I'm actually hitting 3 skeletons at once, I think. I'm at least hitting 2 here. But I'm fairly certain I'm also hitting a 3rd skeleton. So there's 2 there. Oh, no, I wasn't quite reaching that guy. But yeah, this is how I grind mastery. I AFK this with the giant weapon because it's super pay to win. But it's also super effective.